Day one is in the books. What does day two have in store from the Angus Glen Community Centre here in Markham, Ontario? It's day two of the U18 AAA Central Region Championships, and we have a great game on store. The Waterloo Wolves taking on the North Shore Whitecaps. Hello friends, I'm Mitch Kane, bringing you day two action here from Markham, Ontario. Both of these teams had very different starts to the tournament. North Shore opened it up with the matinee contest against the Toronto Titans in yesterday's action, where they suffered a 2-0 loss and were the only team in the tournament to not log a point in the standings. On the other side, the Waterloo Wolves showcased their offense to its maximum power, totaling 7 goals in a 7-6 overtime victory over Ottawa Myers Automotive. But a little bit of adversity was faced, seeing leads come in and disappear all in an instant. Both of these teams looking for a crucial 3 points to hop up in the standings here today. We should be in for a great one on the 12 o'clock slate of day two. Starting goalies for today's contest for the North Shore Whitecaps. Number 31, Cam Ryan, gets the nod. He was one of the very best goaltenders in the OMHA this season, logging a 10-2-3 record with a 1.38 goals against average, and he had the third best playoff goals against average in the OMHA. On the other side, Finn Pettipiece gets his first action of the tournament. The Guelph, Ontario native, a 15-1 record this season with just a 0.82 goals against average, a 255 goals against average in the postseason. We'll now throw it down to rink level for the playing of the Canadian national anthem. And now the starting lineup for the Waterloo Wolves. On the back end, it's Aaron Howell alongside Liam Strauss. Up front, Will Kuhneman, Charlie Fast, and Cole Bonneville. Head coach of the Wolves, Kyle Morrison, the former Gatineau Olympic and Laurier Golden Hawk of U Sports. On the other end for the North Shore Whitecaps, it's Kane Goulet and Cooper Arsenault on the back end with Ethan McLeish, William Sandiford, and Rowan Turner up front. Head coach of the Whitecaps, Tyler Turcotte, the former defenseman for the U of T Varsity Blues. The Whitecaps 0-1 in the tournament. The Waterloo Wolves 1-0 with 2 points due to their overtime win yesterday. The teams are ready to go. Day 2 from the U18 AAA Central Region Championships is underway. The puck is hit the ice and Waterloo controls the opening draw as Ball will move that forward for Fast. That one rolls errantly into the offensive zone as Arsenault picks it up first. He'll move it over the middle, intercepted by Fast as he'll play it right back down into the corner. Arsenault will chip it around. Stepping up is Howell. He has his pocket picked by Arsenault as Arsenault gets taken into the glass. Puck comes free. Fast looking to work it to the middle, but he gets hounded away by the defenseman Goulet. Puck comes free. Kuhneman will slap it back into the offensive end where Arsenault controls. He'll swing it to Goulet. Goulet up the middle of the ice where McLeish tips it into the offensive zone as Strauss was on it first. Long lead feed up for Forwell. Forwell, a very strong game yesterday against Ottawa Myers Automotive. 2 goals and an assist in that one. Forwell carving through the offensive zone, but he's knocked off the puck as Debut will take it the other way. Hutchings flips this high into the offensive zone, up and over Pettipiece as Ball is first to it. Michael Ball can't get the pass out as the Whitecaps back on the attack, but that one's broken up as Forwell will play it into the offensive end. Ryan loses control of it. Forwell up to the slot. It's to the point. Long shot in by Maybe. It's blocked away by Ryan. Down low, Forwell. He'll work it behind the net as he gets bumped off the puck hard. The scrum ensues. Sinclair kicks it free. Alves takes it behind the goal line. Leaves it off for Sinclair as Hutchings will pick it up, but just gets it clear of the line as Ball can glove it down. Ball will take this all the way back to his own end as some contact over the middle of the ice ensues as here comes Waterloo up the other way with a burst of speed. Ball fires off the backside of Humphrey, the overtime winner for Waterloo yesterday in the 7-6 thriller. So moved over the near side, a hard bounce off the end boards as Logan Young takes it the other way. Young across the blue line, he'll drop it off. This will move back over the middle where it's knocked away as that one gets shimmied away by Ryan. Here comes Joey Longo the other way. The captain of the Whitecaps, he'll leave it off, but it's taken away by the Wolves. They look to move in transition. That one's poked ahead by Logan Young as he'll be first to it in the offensive zone. Young slams it out to the slot, but no one in the beige jersey near. Whitecaps in the navy, and the Wolves in their away off-white beige jerseys. Longo gets ridden hard into the boards as it comes to the point. Goulet fakes the shot and toe drags it around, lost control of it as he'll play it back to the corner. Puck comes up to the slot, and a great save by Pettipiece as he's tested early. When speaking with head coach Kyle Morrison of the Waterloo Wolves before the game, he mentioned that he was proud of his team's effort. They were able, but they need to limit penalties. Going into today, their penalty kill did not fare well, only going 2 for 5 against Ottawa Myers Automotive. He mentioned that in the Alliance League, when they would go up 3 or 4 goals, the game was typically over at that point, but not here. Everyone is a champion. And they have to be better prepared. Faced a lot of resiliency yesterday, going up 3-0 early, having the 2-goal lead into the third period before that quickly vanished. In fact, trailing at one point 6-5, but being able to make the comeback late and have the overtime winner to get a crucial 2 points early in this week. This one moved up to the point. Long shot in was deflected up and out of play. As we like to say, thank you to our partners for supporting today's event. Special recognition goes to Milk, a proud partner of the U18 AAA Central Region Championships. Dairy Farmers of Ontario are proud to support young athletes and encourage healthy, active lifestyles. Shots even at 1 through the first 3:09 here in the first frame. Debut on the draw against Kuhneman. Faceoff's one clean back by the Whitecaps, but here comes Waterloo in transition. That's Wyatt Marks to the outside. He'll fire at far side corner. As Strauss in on it first. He'll backhand it down low. Picking up first Marks. Up to the point. Long shot in. It gets deflected in front and knocked down in the slot as the Whitecaps look to clear. Drew. He'll take it behind his own net and wait. Moves it up the near side for Hutchings. Hutchings will chip that forward as Strauss will leave that off. Hobson is being hounded as he's able to get her away last second, go across the ice. Long feed down the length of the ice. A little too strong, and that will go for an icing call. When speaking with Tyler Turcotte, he mentioned that yesterday's game had a lot of control, a lot of structure focus in the 2-0 loss against the Toronto Titans. But he felt that they deserved better. They had more scoring chances, more shots in the game, but unfortunately ran into a hot goaltender who stopped all 31 shots he faced. So North Shore now currently in 6th place, looking up, trying to make up some ground here against the Alliance champions in the Wolves. Sheridan. He's got it all the way back at his own end. He's being hounded by Humphrey. He's got to get rid of this puck quick because he'll drop it off momentarily. His ball slaps that towards the net. It's knocked down by a stick of McLeish. And he moves in transition. Long lead feed up as Sandiford will chop at it, and it goes behind the net of Pettipies. Tie up on the near side boards. Looking to get the puck free, and a big hit by Sandiford as he takes out his own teammate as well as a Wolf. Waterloo setting up behind their own net. As Sandiford lays the big hit on the far side of the ice. Puck comes free as McLeish will slap it back down. Ball goes to the other side. Here comes Humphrey. 2-on-4 here. Humphrey will slow up, try to shuffle it forward, but it's intercepted by Hackett. But the captain Fast strips his pocket. Hallman now from the goal line. He waits, gets it back to Fast, but he was tied up by Hackett in the slot. Hackett. This one moved over the middle. Long shot in from maybe. It's turned away by Ryan. Paul will come back down as the shot went towards the net. The net comes off its moorings, though, as that right post just slides off, and a break for the Whitecaps as they're able to get a wholesale change. The North Shore Whitecaps representing the OMHA lost in the finals against the Markham Waxers in overtime. As the Waxers are our host of this tournament, the Whitecaps get the bid as the OMHA champion in the finalists. This one up to the point. Long shot in, patted away by Ryan. Another shot that misses wide of the target as Waterloo starting to hem in on the attack. Puck is taken away. Rocco Williams to the outside. This will be chipped forward into the neutral zone as it's batted by Williams into the offensive zone. Big hit on the far side of the play as Nierizel got the worst of that one. Nierizel now moves it up as the Wolves look to go in transition here. They've got numbers coming into the offensive zone. It's left off for Alves as he'll chop it down into the corner. Right into the slot. Great save by Ryan as he denies Forwell. And a scrum comes in after Alves as Alves got a late whack. Multiple tie-ups now after the play. Pushing and shoving ensuing between Bonneville. And he's going with Kinchin. Now Longo giving some words. Alves back into it here with Williams. And cooler heads will eventually prevail. No penalties will be called. Alves getting a little late tap in there, but Forwell, a prime opportunity. As we see Kinchin and Alves still having words all the way back to the bench. Now Kuhneman on the draw against Jackman. Faceoff will be taken away by Farmer. Farmer gets the center, flips it in deep as that one's on target as Pettipies will just send it to the corner. Puck comes away as Sinclair with it. He'll move it over the middle. Bouncing puck, controlled by Young, as he's able to showcase some good hands. Sinclair down at the goal line. He'll take it behind the net and get ridden into the glass by Jackman. Jackman's able to reverse up for Drew. As Drew sees a step and he'll go fire it into Waterloo territory. Puck is turned over as Kinchin gets bumped off the puck there by Bonneville. He was trying to cut across the middle. Nathan Miller, long lead feed, intercepted by Bluin. Bluin will just chip that forward to the offensive end, but North Shore's offside, giving Waterloo a free clear here. Ball long lead feed, that one's deflected in the offensive zone as Marks goes in on the attack. DeBoo has that poked off his stick. Marks from a sharp angle, leaves it up top. Nice pass over by Humphrey as he found it over to Smith. But Smith couldn't pull the trigger in time. Here comes Farmer the other way. He'll hit the brakes. Up near the Waterloo benches, he shuffles that towards the net where he'll be picked up by DeBoo first. This one left off Kulababa up to the point. Pass across the line. Long shot in from Sheridan. Misses wide of the target. DeBoo. He'll spin back on his backhand towards the back of the net as he's still with possession of it. Up to the point, Sheridan. Looking for a shooting lane, doesn't have one. Cuts across the middle to his backhand. Back to his forehand. Fires the shot up and over the target. Big bounce off the glass, but stays behind the net. Puck finally squirts free. Sheridan looking to keep it in deep, and he does so successfully. As it comes back to him at the point, Sheridan, long bomb shot in, is blocked in front by Smith. And that one clears the zone as unable to hold the line was Hackett. And now way out of his net is Ryan as he'll saucer that over the middle. DeBoo. He's got some space and speed across the blue line. DeBoo leaves it off. Hutchings, a chance. Fires that low lining shot, but it's blocked in front. Tie up on the near side. As pinning it to the glass is Forwell. Puck comes free. North Shore looking to center. This one gets all the way across. One-time shot by Goulet, and it's blocked in front. Goulet takes a stumble, and he's got to hustle back. It's a 2-on-1. Firing the shot. Hobson turned away. That's a nice save by Ryan. He's getting tested often and early. Here's a chance. Forwell the other way. Forwell to the outside. He'll ring it around the boards. Arsenault there first. He's able to squeak it through the legs, but it's held in at the point. Up at the top of the line. Ball. He'll try and slap that towards the target. He finally gets it through on the second attempt as Goulet picks up the loose puck, hits a weird bounce off the stanchion as McLeish will take possession at center and fire it into the far side corner. McLeish gets his own puck, centers it with no one in a blue shirt near as Waterloo will move it out the other way quickly. That one's floated on target. Ryan will keep it alive as he leaves it off for Bluin. Forwell gets checked into the glass. He gloves that one down quickly but takes a hit from Turner. Longo fires that over the middle. Fast now with possession of it, the blue line. He'll flip it up and over Bluin as Drew is there first. Drew hits the brakes. He'll spin back behind his own net and wait a little longer. Looking to get the offense set up. Drew waits. The Kendall, Ontario native moving to the left, firing it to the right. Finds McLeish. They'll fire right on target, and Pettipies will force the cover-up with 10:16 to go here in the first. This puck stoppage is brought to you by Barron Rings, the official championship ring provider of the U18 AAA Central Region Championships. Barron Rings proudly celebrates the achievements of athletes by creating lasting symbols of success and excellence. Williams in on the draw, going up against Kuhneman. Face off won by North Shore. Long shot in by Sheridan. It's tipped just wide of the target. Williams on the rebound up to the point. Hackett, long, low lining shot in as it gets deflected away. Longo slapping it at the side of the net. Waterloo looking to clear, and they finally get it to the outside. Strauss. He'll take the return feed as he sees some daylight. Strauss, a very strong game yesterday. 3 points in the victory from the back end, a goal and 2 assists. Sheridan over to Kinchin. He'll flick that up. It deflects off of a glove, and the hand pass is called. The near side official waved it off, but the far side official does blow it down. When speaking to Kyle Morrison about Finn Pettipies, he mentioned that he's a phenomenal goalie, mentioning his lights-out statistics, the 15-1 record on top of the 0.82 goals against average. Said in an ideal world, they'll be able to rotate between McCall and Pettipies here in the tournament. But ultimately, when it gets down to it, you got to win every game possible. So the hot hand may get more starts. Pettipies at 2.55 goals against average in the postseason. For the Alliance champions, two-time Alliance champions in the last 3 years. As we take a look at Camden Ryan there, the Peterborough native, the goaltender for the North Shore Whitecaps, a 1.38 goals against average this season. Two phenomenal goalies here in this matchup. As the officials now having a conversation with Kyle Morrison, and they'll swing over to Tyler Turcotte and his crew, talking about the positioning of where the draw is. I don't think North Shore is going to have any issues with this, as it's in the offensive end. And we're ready to get going. 9:37 to go here in the first. McLeish on the draw. He'll win it back. A quick one-time shot by Turner is blocked in front and quickly exited the zone. Alves on chase for it, but a nice stick by Sheridan. Slow down the hounding forward. This one played off the glass. No icing the call as Howell will get it around. Ryan flubs on the pass, but is able to still get it to Hackett as North Shore flips it out into neutral. This one off the boards as Sinclair will pick it up and take it across the blue line. That one deflected away by Hackett. As it does clear the blue line, Waterloo has to tag up. As this comes all the way back down, no icing the call. North Shore getting a wholesale change. 9 minutes of play in a scoreless 0-0 tie here in the matinee game of Day 2 of the Central Region Championships. Kane Goulet moves it out to McLeish. He spins around but turns it over. Here comes Humphrey. Humphrey, the shot is blocked in front by Arsenault, up and out of play. As a couple late whacks go Humphrey's way. Let's take a look at the replay. Goulet pass just a little too hot to handle. McLeish gets bumped off the puck, and Humphrey, the overtime winner from yesterday, gets the shooting lane but couldn't fit it through Arsenault as it gets blocked up and out of play. Humphrey had 13 goals in 11 games played in the postseason in the Alliance playoffs for the Waterloo Wolves. This one deflects off the stick of Smith as it sends a stick flying as well as the puck. Forwell keeps the puck in. He'll backhand it through, trying to find Nierizel as he's stepping up in the offensive end. Just throws it on net. Ryan had trouble with it as Smith from a sharp angle. That pass gets deflected away, and Goulet with a big block there on Logan Young. Stepping back into the zone, Nathan Miller. He shakes off the hit from Callery. Up to the point. Nierizel waits, fires a shot. It's off of the shin pads of Goulet, nearly deflects it off the defenseman and in. As Goulet looking to ring this out, but Forwell holds the line. He gets drilled from behind there by Callery, still with possession of the puck, as he'll just kick it forward. As taking it away is Arsenault. He'll move it up the board side as it clears the line. And it deflects off Farmer's stick. Waterloo's got to tag up. Arsenault. Long lead feed. That one will be deflected in deep by Farmer. As Kulababa first to the puck. He's looking to center. He gets pinned off on the boards. As the puck will come all the way out and free. Elliot Bluin to it first. Bluin cuts up the middle across the blue line. Leaves it to the outside. Hutchings, long line shot in, but it's blocked off by Ball. Ball with the pin on the far side. Puck comes free as Kuhneman. Kuhneman showcasing the edge work here. He'll move it to the outside. Marks bashing at it to get forward. Kuhneman was looking for the one-time shot, but couldn't pull the trigger. Kuhneman picks his pocket. Back on the attack. Moves it into the slot, but that one a little too hot to handle for Marks. Maybe slaps it down low into the corner. He's applying the pressure as North Shore can't clear the line. Maybe goes D to D. Up top to the point. Long shot in. It's turned away by Ryan again. Kuhneman to the point. Taken by Bluin as Hutchings flips it a mile high up and off the roof here inside the Angus Glen Community Centre. Fine Design, the official on-site championship apparel provider for the U18 AAA Central Region Championships. Be sure to grab your championship gear before it sells out. Draw comes back to the Whitecaps' end. Shots now 8-4 in favor of the Wolves in the early going. Humphrey against Williams on the draw. It's one back by Humphrey. Long shot in, turned away by Ryan. Sheridan chips it out of the zone as it'll be fired back in on target by Ball. Pass through the middle. It'll be controlled by the Whitecaps. Long shot in as Pettipiece is tested and he covers up as here we go again. Another scrum ensuing in the near side corner. Looked like there might have been a late tap on Pettipiece and the Wolves retaliating. Despite all the scrums in the early going, no penalties issued yet either way. As we'll take a look at that last one, a weird bouncing puck. And right into the offensive zone was Longo, and it is Longo who gets the last tap on Pettipiece, which drew the crowd. Williams wins the draw as a nice move made by Hallman as he was into the offensive end, and Sheridan gets taken down. Ryan's going to opt to play the puck. His dangerous play as Hallman just underskated that one, but it's taken away by the Wolves. Humphrey, a backhanded saucer pass to the point. Maybe goes to the far side corner to open space where we're taken in by Sheridan. He hits a long pass up the middle, was looking for the streaking Longo, but couldn't connect. Hackett, he'll reverse, gets it off to Sheridan. Sheridan has that puck taken away. Humphrey with it, showing some patience. Humphrey dancing up at the blue line, gets it down low for Hallman. Hallman bumped off the puck by Sheridan as fast as in there first, and it's taken away by Williams. Rocco Williams, he'll get to center, fire it in deep, and the Whitecaps go for a quick change. Puck moved over to the near side. It'll be tapped forward by Strauss as he's barreling in with a head full of steam, and Strauss lays the check on Arsenault. Puck comes loose to Goulet. He's looking for the home run shot, but connected on the backside there of Sandiford. 5 minutes to play here in a scoreless opening first. Waterloo resets behind their own net. Walking it out now is Aaron Howell. Howell chips that off the boards, and that one a little too long. Goulet wins the race. Aaron Howell, the Cambridge, Ontario native, 24 points on the back end this season for the Waterloo Wolves. 3 goals, 21 assists. No points in the 7-goal performance yesterday. As 4:44 remains here in the first. Shots now 9-5 in favor of the Wolves. Jackman on the draw. He gets tied up and it'll be taken away by Howell. Bouncing puck goes to the neutral zone where Arsenault slaps it back in deep. Howell to it first. He'll leave it off for his partner Strauss, as Forwell now in his own zone. Looked for the home run shot, but saw 2 blue jerseys near and elects to leave it off for his defenseman Howell. Howell moves it on over. Nierizel with a burst of speed into the offensive zone, taking it 1-on-4 against the Whitecaps. Backhand pass, rebound chance was there. Smith couldn't capitalize. Here come the Whitecaps in transition. It's Callery to the outside. He waits, toe drags, but couldn't pull the trigger as Miller was able to break that up. Forwell now with it on the near side. It'll be played up towards the point. As Nierizel gets to center and will fire it in behind the net. Ryan spears at it to slow it down for his defenseman Bluin, as Kulababa has difficulties clearing the zone. He'll take a big hit as he gets knocked to the ice. Farmer goes to transition. Kuhneman with a blazing speed to break up that chance. But Farmer back in at first in the offensive end. He gets taken down to the ground. One-time shot is blocked in front. Rebound chance as all over it there is Michael Drew. As played up to the point. Sheridan over to Drew. waits, fires the shot. It gets blocked and wide of the target. As this one will come around the other way. Drew coming in on the pinch. He gets knocked to the ice as the puck clears out to center. North Shore just narrowly avoiding a too many men penalty as that one goes all the way down, icing the call. Pettipies was out to play it. And Tyler Turcotte unhappy with the call. As Pettipies did play to the puck behind the net, but the whistle goes first, so icing the call. Conversation now between the referee and the linesman. The one linesman talking with the North Shore bench, and the faceoff will go to center ice, I believe. And it will. So faceoff back at center. DeBoo ties up his man as faceoff's won back to Sheridan. Sheridan moves it quickly up the boards as DeBoo takes the check but is able to get it into the offensive end. That one goes up and out of play. Blake DeBoo, the Bowmanville, Ontario native, 10 points in the playoffs, just 12 points in the regular season. Really stepped up his game to the next level once the OMHA playoffs came around. He'll go in on the draw as he wins it back to the point. Long shot in. It's blocked off by a skate boot. As here comes Waterloo in transition. With the puck now is Young. He'll drop it off. Long shot in. It's blockered away. Hops it from the corner. Gives it off to Young. Young trying to toe drag around, but will be taken away by Hutchings. Hutchings takes the worst of that check from Hobson. It's flipped to the far side corner, and that one will go for an icing call. And that one will stand. Face-off coming all the way back to the North Shore end. One thing that Tyler Turcotte mentioned in the pregame was the power play must be better today. It went 0 for 7 in yesterday's game against Toronto, despite outshooting Toronto 31-26. Just not much production coming from the power play unit. No opportunities yet either way. Both teams still with no action on the score sheet. This one's backhanded through. It's blocked off by Sheridan. He'll lightly chip it off the glass as Hutchings is able to get that out of the zone. This one comes right back in. Hackett controls, long feed up, intercepted, but not taken away by DeBoo, and it's offside called. DeBoo got himself. Feet ahead of the puck, and the whistle is blown with 2:04 to go here in the first. Gatorade, the official sports nutrition beverage of the U18 AAA Central Region Championships, fueling athlete hydration and recovery to keep performance at its peak throughout the championship. Face-off won by Humphrey, and it's swung over to the near side for Howell. He'll reverse it back for Strauss. Now it's going to be tipped into the offense's end as Goulet is on it first. Now up to Joey Longo, the Oshawa, Ontario native. This one off the boards and no icing the call. Howell first to it. Longo with it in the corner. He has that pocket picked by Strauss. There's a big hit on the far side laid by Wyatt Marks. Here comes Strauss the other way. The dangerous offensive defenseman has that puck knocked off his stick, and he goes sliding into the boards. Fast with it at the point. His shot blocked by Williams, and here comes North Shore in transition. Longo to the outside, gets taken off the puck, still with it. Longo to the slot, one-time shot by Goulet, and he fans on as he goes into the near side corner. We approach the final minute of play. 1:06 to go, and a huge hit over the middle. McLeish halting Humphrey in his tracks. Longo will ring it around the boards. Pettipies out to slow it up. So you got a piece of it. It will slow it down a little for Near Eisel. As one moved over the middle, it's knocked down by Turner and played right back into the offensive end. Pettipies will leave it off for Nathan Miller, the Wyerton, Ontario native. That one's chipped off the boards into the offensive end. Blue in first to pick it up. 30 seconds to play here in the first. Taken by Alves. Alves gets ridden into the board by McLeish. As the puck comes free, Forwell slaps it forward. A chance all alone. Great save by Ryan. He got the arm back and somehow denies Holman. Another chance in tight. That one's turned away by Ryan. Forwell laying the body. 10 seconds to go. Waterloo with a late push. Forwell, a backhanded attempt by Nearizel, and Bluen clears the zone. Cam Ryan, an incredible save, and we're getting a penalty right at the end of the period. As William Sandiford laid the late check. Here was the one save by Ryan earlier in the period. Alves, the late poke. And back to his feet now is Jackson Nearizel, as the teams will go off for the first intermission as we look at the replay recap. As here was the latest chance for the Wolves. That one blocked away, and Bluen got the clear right before the penalty, and there it was, as Sandiford with the late check. And the officials now having a discussion of if it could be a 2 or a 5 or what the call will be. So that will do it for the first period of play. 2 minutes up on the clock, so Waterloo will start on the power play after one period of play here from day 2. The score still 0-0 between the Waterloo Wolves and the North Shore Whitecaps. You won't want to miss out on second period action up in 15 minutes or so.
Got something to call mine. Starting today.
The TELUS Cup is coming to Peterborough. Canada's men's U18 National Club Championship is taking over the Peterborough Memorial Centre. From the opening face-off to the final goal of the championship game, the TELUS Cup delivers unforgettable moments at the highest level of U18 hockey in Canada. Be there for every moment. Get your tickets now at hockeycanada.ca/TELUS Cup.
Gold medal winner!
There's change, and change is always good.
I'd like to continue making sure freedom of movement is smooth. It's easier for kids to play, making sure as many kids who want to play can play, making sure that the OHF is well managed financially, well governed. Those things they're not sexy, but they're important.
Being part of the future of hockey, I'd like to make sure that hockey continues being hockey. My goal also is to be that devil's advocate, helping understand and question what we are doing to make sure that it is the right thing to do in the future.
Progress that I would like to see is to really continue to push the game and to push the quality of our events and the player experience, and bring in some new and exciting and innovative initiatives like online streaming for our OHF championships.
For me, it's all about the players. They will always need support. We need to nurture their well-being physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. How can we do that in a good way? What does that look like? Growth and development, what change looks like in a good way, the culture and respect and integrity for the benefit of the players, and accessibility at all levels. So recruitment and retention for players. How do we get volunteers on board? How do we keep them involved? And how can we make that process streamlined and easier for that to happen?
What I would like to see is spend more time on recreational hockey and provide the recreational player who make up most of our membership feel more important and more worthy of the attention that some of the representative teams and people get, and translate that into the recreational stream.
It's an avenue by which players get to participate in a recreational activity that's structured, that's safe, and that, as I said previously, produces some pretty good citizens.
What progress I'd be looking for are just continued work towards inclusion diversity, making the game more affordable, making the game easily accessible in terms of registration, and also continue the path of continued growth within hockey.
The vision of hockey in Ontario is a very complicated issue. There are a lot of people that have a lot of different views about what it should be. We work together better now than we ever have. We're on the same page more now than we ever have. So my job is to listen to people.
I'm most excited about the leadership role that OHF is taking on, and you can really see it in the customer service that's being delivered. Always thinking about the players and always thinking about the experience of enriching communities through hockey.
Success as chair to me would be having people say the members of the Ontario Hockey Federation get along better than they've ever gotten along. We collaborate more than we've ever collaborated. We trust each other more than we've ever trusted each other. If we all communicate and we all trust each other, we'll all make progress.
Personally, receiving the scholarship, it's meant a lot to me. It kind of brought some light to what had happened to me. I wasn't able to work for about 6 months. It's helped me and my family a lot, just paying for school and it being less of a burden. I want kids to have the same experience I had when I was a kid. I think a lot of people bond over hockey and what it's given to them, so I want to give the same to the future youth.
As someone that never played at a high level of hockey, I never really imagined being a professional referee until 2022. And I really thought, where could this job go? So I played A in Mississauga, and the association reached out to our team for timekeepers. And when I wanted to start, they offered me a position to start officiating. From then, just climbing through the ranks of the Mississauga Hockey League, Greater Toronto Hockey League, and into the Ontario Hockey League. Not playing at a high level is one thing that sticks out when you go to referee at a high level. I feel like I have something to prove going into these bigger games and big rinks. Some coaches know that you never played at a high level, so how could you be refereeing? And it's important to remind yourself that you're there for a reason, just like they are. Your name didn't fall out of a hat and all of a sudden you're refereeing a professional hockey game. Off seasons are where you make the most gains as an official and player. Something that I think is very important as an official that didn't play high-level hockey is your skating ability. Take power skating lessons, sit on the ice, whether it's with your friends or alone, and get skated. As you climb the ranks and start to officiate major, junior, and professional hockey, you really start to notice the difference that communication makes with the players, coaches, other officials, and above. Staying composed, professional, and handling pressure is very important. Stakes are so high that we need to make correct, accurate decisions as best as we can. We don't get replays like you do at home watching the TV. We've got to make it that split second, and it's got to be as accurate as possible. I think getting into officiating can be daunting at times. You get yelled at, people think you're wrong, when really most of the time you are right. You start second-guessing your abilities and you get discouraged. So I think just reminding yourself that all the hard work and dedication that you put into over the years, it's very rewarding in the end.
So that specific shooting drill that we were working on today is to help give them those extra shooting techniques so that in a game-like situation, they're not just using one or two, they've got multiple ways of being able to shoot the puck. Not only does that make it more difficult for the defenseman to defend, but also for that goaltender to not only track it, but making sure that they're able to square up on the puck as well. So just helps them become more of that lethal player that they're looking for at that elite level.
Out here, we're working on a lot of transitioning walking the blue line, puck retrievals. Lots of that has to do with being able to take good angles to pucks, good routes to pucks, being able to shoulder check, being able to execute some deception. There's a setup, there's a trap, there's a payoff to every move. So making sure that the players are understanding the process in how to identify danger, identify options, and how to misdirect players under a stressful environment.
So a lot of our focus points here at the Program of Excellence Under 15 is going to be helping the goaltenders a lot with their preparation before the shot. Things like leading with the eyes, scanning the ice before they make their movements, being able to put themselves into the right places at the right times, and ultimately set themselves up for success when the shot comes off the stick. We're also going to be tying in a couple small technical areas where we're talking about a lot of sequencing in their movement, about how the body is supposed to operate from the top of the head down into their skates in order to generate that real strong and effective movement.
Stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, rap, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad, stack on stack, rack on rack, back on back. That gon' clap, rack on rack. So bad.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Angus Glen Community Centre for second period action here on day 2 of the U18 AAA Central Regional Championships between the Waterloo Wolves and the North Shore Whitecaps. After 20 minutes of play, we have a scoreless first period of play. North Shore still looking for their first goal of the tournament. Now been shut out in the first 4 periods. Shots on goal after 20 minutes of play, 12-7. In favor of the Waterloo Wolves, and they'll head to the power play as William Sanderford took a 2-minute slashing penalty at the end of the period. As we'll take a look at the standings going into today, the Toronto Titans, the lone team to pick up a regulation win, so they sit atop the leaderboards with 3 points. North Bay and Waterloo yesterday both picking up overtime wins, so they're dead knotted at 2. The Markham Waxers and Ottawa Myers Automotive both with the overtime losses. They sit at 1 point, and the North Shore Whitecaps still looking for their first point of the tournament, looking to do so here in the matinee game against the Waterloo Wolves. The second game of the day will go at 3:30 between the Toronto Titans and the North Bay Trappers. And the nightcap tonight will be the Markham Waxers taking on Ottawa Myers Automotive. But back inside here for period 2 action. The Wolves begin on the power play. They were perfect yesterday, a perfect 2 for 2 on the man advantage. Going up against the stout Whitecaps penalty kill. They went 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. We'll see what the second period has in store as we are underway. Second period of day 2 of game number 1 here on the day. Pettipiece. He'll leave it off for Maybe. As Maybe will drop it off Forwell. Forwell across center. He'll fire it into the offensive end as he gets drilled in the neutral zone as the puck comes free and all the way back down to the Waterloo end. Pettipiece will kickstart the rush as Maybe works on the near side to Humphrey. He'll hit the brakes as Waterloo having trouble getting comfortable in the offensive end as they finally get set up. This one worked up high. Forwell with it. He'll walk in. Forwell, a quick shot, blocked away in front. And we knock to the sideboards, and North Shore gets the clear down the length of the ice. Pettipiece. He'll kickstart it all the way down to the far side blue line as this one retreated quickly for Ball. He's across the line onside. Ball works it up to the point. Maybe to the right flank, all the way across. Ball with it. He loses controls. He'll slap it all the way back around for Forwell. Tie up on the near side boards is moved up to the point. Maybe a long shot in. Gloved down quickly by Ryan. As 42 seconds remain here on the power play. There's the check that Forwell shook off initially. Leaves it off for Humphrey. And he got it up top for Maybe with the clean look. As Marks was sitting on the back door looking for a deflection. Couldn't get a stick on that one as the spectacular goalie for the Whitecaps, Cam Ryan, makes the glove save. Second unit out here now for the Wolves. As Sinclair will be in on the draw, going up against McLeish. Face-off won quickly as it was on target to Ryan. As North Shore clears his own, here comes Longo with a push. Longo has that one knocked away by Strauss. As going the other way, Young, who gets taken out down low. Mere open ice hip check sends Logan Young to the ice. As here's the last chance by Longo, who was pushing for the speed but gets knocked it off by Strauss. And here comes the upcoming hit as the big check in the middle of the ice. McLeish lowering the shoulder. Get down low on Logan Young. 26 left on the power play. Faceoff's one, controlled by Waterloo as Nir Eisel gets pushed to the outside. This one up to the point. Strauss walks, fires a shot, rebound chance as it got deflected. And here comes North Shore with the shorthanded break. McLeish to the outside, working on Young. He'll get the shot off. Pettipiece has trouble with the rebound as he popped it back out to the slot, but McLeish couldn't get there first. We're back to even strength as North Shore's penalty kill, now 3 for 3 in the tournament. Long pass up for Williams as he's just offside, and Williams has an interaction with Nir Eisel. As Nyrazel following him around the rink as we'll go back all the way to North Shore territory. As the pass just a step offside. It was a close play. The right idea on the pass. Shots now 13-7. Only one shot on the Waterloo power play. Forwell back out for the Wolves. He'll win the drawback clean. Long shot in from the point. Swallowed up by Ryan. He's been sharp tonight. Camden Ryan, the 2009 born Peterborough, Ontario native. So we'll redo it from his right side as the puck squirts free off the draw. Forwell controls. He gets knocked off the puck, and here comes North Shore in transition. 3-on-3 the other way. Kulibaba throws it to the center of the net as Pettipiece is able to send that to the glass. Comes right over the slot. Kulibaba couldn't get there first as he's knocked off the puck, and Howell will control. Howell back on it. Gets it over to Strauss. Strauss backhands it into the offensive end. Controlled by Drew, looking for the home run shot, intercepted. Forwell with a lane. Forwell shot off the post. Had the lane, put it to the far side, but couldn't beat the red iron. Here comes North Shore the other way, looking for the pass through to Bluin as it goes right between his legs. Fast is able to clear the zone. Arsenault fires it to the far side corner, open space. North Shore looking for the wholesale change. This one worked out to Forwell. I think he was expecting the check there. As almost tried to post up Arsenault. He'll work it out. Long feed over to the near side. This one's flicked in quickly offside the call. As we will get our first stoppage. Thank you to our partners for supporting today's event. Special recognition goes to Milk, a proud partner of the U18 AAA Central Region Championships. Dairy farmers of Ontario are proud to support young athletes and encourage healthy, active lifestyles. Jackman wins that draw against Humphrey as it goes a little too well. All the way back to the North Shore territory. Kane Goulet's got to act quickly as he's being hounded with stick checks as Waterloo back into the offensive end. Humphrey to the forehand. He gets bumped off the puck. It comes up high. A long shot in by Hobson is stopped away and a penalty upcoming. It's going to be against Waterloo. As offside is called as Jackman got tripped up. And he ended up rolling offside as tensions high once again. The official coming over to lay down the law and see if anyone else wants to join in the penalty box. As going will be Bonneville. As North Shore gets their first power play opportunity of the night. This is where both of these teams struggled yesterday. North Shore 0 for 7 on the power play. Waterloo 2 for 5 on the penalty kill. Still looking for the game's opening marker of the night. The whistle blows quickly as Fast will get kicked from the draw. The captain of the Wolves, 1 assist in yesterday's game, 30 points on the season. Sinclair comes in to take his spot. Face-off won quickly by Williams. Batted around puck, and Farmer has to take it outside the end. Ball rings it around the glass. It's knocked down by a hand of Jackman. Pucks comes free for Farmer. He'll wait at the blue line, looking to get set up here. Just across the line, onside. Waterloo thinks differently. Waiting with it now at the point is Drew. Down to Longo, to the goal line, Farmer. Farmer back up to the point for Drew. Drew waits, dances over the middle, plays it to the goal line, Farmer. Farmer coming across the top of the circle. He has a lane. Farmer to the backhand, swings it back and outside the zone. He thought Jackman was there, but Jackman went on the move. This one moved up over the middle with it now Kinchin. And too many men is the call. As are we able to take a look at this one to see North Shore, a detrimental mistake. If we're able to pause it there, we have the extra player comes on. It's hard to see from that vantage point, but the 6th skater comes on right there. And a mistake for the Whitecaps as that takes away their man advantage. This one now moved over to the near side. Walking in, Howell fires a shot. It's deflected up and out of play. As Waterloo on the attack immediately here on the 4-on-4. (15, 14:54) here to go in the second. 48 seconds of 4-on-4 action before a round of 50-second power play for the Wolves. This one's moved up to the point. Strauss fires a shot. It's blockered away by Ryan. Debut now the other way. A chance for North Shore on the attack as Debut gets taken down hard. No call upcoming. The North Shore fans in attendance wanted it, not going to get it. Aaron Howell, long feed up the near side. Strauss drops it back. Forwell trying to wind him up and let him go. He's into the offensive end, takes it around one, looking for help into the offensive end as he gets drilled behind the play, and North Shore could have numbers coming the other way. 1-on-2 goes Sheridan. Sheridan has that puck stripped away. Forwell back on the attack. 3-on-2 for the Wolves. Strauss looking for the backdoor feed for Forwell to tap it home, but couldn't pull it off. Power play now for the Wolves as they're back to 5 skaters. 40 seconds remain as Howell will slow it down behind his own net. Howell, long lead feed. Strauss dumps it off. Puck comes free, and this one's going to be slapped all the way back down the zone. As potentially one last chance here with 23 seconds and ticking on the power play. Maybe a long lead feed. That one deflects off the skate. No icing the call. That's a crafty effort from Smith to tip it forward. Long lead feed, and Williams offside again. Pettipiece was screaming at his defenseman as Rocco Williams slid in behind the defense, looking for the home run shot, nearly connected. We've seen Williams a couple times work his way free down at the Waterloo blue line, but he's got himself offside on both occasions. 13 seconds left on the power play. Puck squirts free and down goes, and maybe will head to the box. Tripping the call. He gets his stick right in between the legs of Rocco Williams. And just like that, the Whitecaps go back on the man advantage. Three seconds left in the penalty to Patrick Farmer. So he'll be quick out and joining the power play. Williams wins the draw, but it goes all the way back. And out comes Farmer as North Shore looks to get the power play started. 0 for 8 through 2 days. Looking for their first goal of the tournament. Here comes Drew across the line. He'll leave it off. No one on his team there as Near-Izel sends it down the length of the ice. Ryan. He'll leave it off for Drew. Drew moves it to the near side. This one over the middle for Longo. Longo sees space. He'll play it to the outside. Williams on the half boards. Up top to Drew. He'll wait at the blue line. Drew scanning patiently. Leaves it off. Jackman with a burst of speed into the zone. Up top for Drew. He'll wait. Looking for the shooting lane. Longo has it bounce off his stick down low to Farmer. Farmer up top. Drew. He'll wait. Fires the shot. It's deflected in front and off target. Longo up to the point. Sinclair bearing down on him. This one rang all the way around the boards as it goes up top for Jackman. Fast bearing down on him. He drops it off. Drew sees the lane. Backdoor feed. Farmer turned away by Pettipiece. Longo Takes it at the top of the circle, works over the middle. Jackman, a lane, he'll walk, backdoor feed, looking for Farmer. Sinclair read it this time. As it fast clears the zone, and Longo has to regroup in his own end. 30 seconds to play. Longo quickly turns it around. He sees a lane and takes off with a burst of speed. He'll get to blue line and dump it in as it's intercepted by Nierizel, and he sends it down the length as he'll quickly go off for a change. As potentially one last rush if they get moving here. 11 seconds of ticking on the power play. This one's sauced over to the weak side. Debu in with a burst of speed, but great back check by Hobson to break up that chance. Debu gets pinned to the boards, back to even strength. 5-on-5 hockey. 11:15 to go here in the second. Up to the point. Sheridan with it. He'll wait. Sheridan hits the brakes, trying to get away from Bonneville. As it's swung back behind the net as the net comes way off its moorings. Debu and Hobson go tangling up into the near side post, which will draw a whistle with 11:03 to play here in the second. Fine Design, the official on-site championship apparel provider for the U18 AAA Central Region Championships. Be sure to grab your championship gear before it sells out. Both teams surviving a couple early power plays here in the second period. Less than 10 minutes into the second period. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play now. Humphrey against McLeish on the draw to the left side of Pettipies. That one takes a weird bounce off the stanchion as Waterloo has trouble clearing. Back on it first is Miller. He's got to fend off the hounding McLeish. It's tapped forward by the Whitecaps, still held at the line. As Sandiford looks to get it deeper. Now Turner with it from a sharp angle. It's turned away by Pettipies, but that one got in behind him just wide of the target. Alves, he gets taken down by Turner. It's a physical play on that far side as Alves getting the worst of that. This one intercepted on the near side by Hackett. Humphrey controls in his own end. Miller, lead feed for Strauss. He'll saucer it forward as Alves will look to tip that forward, but is knocked down by bodies in front. Waterloo gains the line, but no control of the puck. As the scrum ensues, battling for it. Bodies hitting the floor a couple times as Humphrey escapes somehow with the puck. A helmet comes flying off for Hackett as they go the other way, and Hackett just took a stick to the face. Absolute pandemonium breaking out here. As Longo quickly hops over the boards to talk to the official, because he wants a call after the helmet came off. And then we see Humphrey go down right after that, and it draws a crowd. And it appears Hallman is getting taken to the box alongside Sandiford. The helmet now of Hackett is retrieved. It looks like Hackett's getting some repairs done, as when he was coming through, he looked like he got a stick to the face. The officials are having a conversation in front of the penalty box. A lot to unpack in that sequence of events. A wrestling match in the North Shore end, which sees a helmet come flying. Obviously, by Hockey Canada rules, you have to report back to the bench if your helmet comes off. Hackett did so, trying to get back to the bench. He takes a stick to the head. And then soon after that, Humphrey gets taken down. And then we finally get the whistles where the scrum ensues. We did just see the official signal 5-on-5, so will be just coincidental penalties, I believe both for roughing. As here's the replay of it. As, Hackett got his helmet clean taken off by a cross check there. As he's going back to the ice. We can see it there. Humphrey's not in the box, so he gets away with this one. Humphrey nearly got a scoring chance right after, too, if he could have got the shot off in time. And then Humphrey also delivers the check on him. And then as soon as he gets checked there by Sandiford, he immediately goes down. Sandiford was looking to stand up for his teammate. Another question to determine is, where does this face-off go? North Shore was breaking it into the offensive end. I think the officials are having that discussion as well. Lots of action going on, but nothing on the score sheet. We still sit as a 0-0 score over halfway through this game. We finally have it all figured out. It'll be a neutral zone draw between Jackman and Forwell as Forwell wins it back. Pettipiece out of his net to play it. He'll play it on the backhand. That's moved up quickly. Marks across the middle for Young. Young with a burst of speed to the outside. He's trying to take it around Goulet. Big hit behind the net as the pushing and shoving continues. Ball. He'll take it across the blue line. Ball nearly avoiding the big hit, trying to work it over the middle of the Marks, but Goulet breaks up that pass. The key will be whichever team can stay more disciplined here down the stretch. Temper's obviously on the rise, but every point, every game matters in this tournament. Goulet fires a shot, blockered away by Pettipiece as he gets the quick rebound as Goulet was shuffling that forward with his leg. And Forwell and Farmer now exchanging some words as Goulet, the big-time shot, gets that deflection right off and covered up quick, and Ball just protecting his goaltender from Callery coming in with a burst of speed, crashing the net, looking for a rebound. No rebound to be found. Shots now 14-12 in favor of Waterloo. Shots 5-2 in favor of the Whitecaps here in the second frame. Williams wins that draw against Kuhneman. It's swung down. Whoa, Longo looking for the backdoor feed. That's deflected off a stick up high. Longo gets his own rebound. Pushing and shoving in front. Longo, the long shot's blocked by Sawyer Smith. Smith looking to work it out. Starting over. Williams hits the deck. He couldn't pull the trigger as he was going down, and Williams takes the big hit from Ball. This one reversed quickly. Waterloo offside. They've got a tag up, but that one was hit with so much pace. Kuhneman's to it first. He tried to center, but that shot was blocked away by Kitchen, who lays a big hit after the play. Now behind the net with it. Delayed penalty upcoming to Waterloo. Drew with it, with a burst of speed through the middle. He'll leave it off as that one's intercepted by maybe contact was made, and they will blow it down. Holding the call, and it appears to be going against Colton Sinclair as Longo and Nearizel having some words after the play. As here's the last chance by Drew with the burst of speed through the middle. Was looking for the return feed, but couldn't fit it through. Third time today, North Shore sent to the man advantage, 0 for 2 on the game, 0 for 9 in the tournament. Nearizel gets tied up, chance in tight as Debut couldn't pull the trigger, and that one clears the zone. Goulet's got to retreat out to center. Goulet sees a lane. He'll take off with a burst of speed, but loses control of it as Bonneville will just tap it forward into the North Shore end. Gene Sheridan, the Uxbridge, Ontario native, will work it out for the Whitecaps. Sheridan to the outside, looks to get his own puck back. Sheridan from a sharp angle off the side of the net. That one will be cleared all the way down by Bonneville as Pettipiece has to quickly adjust the net as he's having some issues with it, and he pushed it way off there, I believe. Trying to adjust it on the goal line as plays at the other end of the ice. Debut. He'll get across center and fire it in. Pettipiece way out of the net to play it. He's got to get rid of that quick. Debut bearing down on him. Up to the point. Williams cycles it down for Debut. He'll let it go for Farmer. Farmer trying to dance around. Nearizel knocks that down as they will clear it out to center. Drew with it. Hounding attack from the back end, and Jackman comes off the bench offside, and we get another whistle. As a proud partner, the Hockey Hall of Fame provides players of the game for all championship games. The Hall, home of the Stanley Cup and hockey at its best. 48 seconds remain on the Whitecaps power play. Pays off, we tie it up, and it's offside. Jackman doesn't know, and he's got to retreat, and that gives Nathan Miller all day to wait with it as he gets off to Strauss, who fans on it. But the Whitecaps still have to take up. Longo back on the attack against Strauss. Back to the slot. Great pass. Better save by Pettipies. Puck's loose at the side of the net. Forwell's able to get it down and clear, as Pettipies has his best of the night. Drew with it behind the net. Rocco Williams telling the offense to get going as well as the bench. Just 5 seconds left on the power play. Longo across the line. Tries to go between the legs. It's shut down. And Strauss was trying to sub his man in the box. Great pass to the back door by Jackman. He waits. He'll move it up to the point. Sheridan over to the near side. Long shot in. It's deflected off the stick, up and out of play, as the shot from Liam Hackett is turned away from Pettipies. North Shore tied in the shot category now, as here's the last chance. Strauss fans on the outlet. Longo comes back in with the burst of speed to the outside. A great behind-the-back pass. And it sets up the Whitecaps in a strong position with Patrick Farmer, but Pettipies able to sprawl out and make the kick save with the left pad. It's been all North Shore here in the second period. McLeish against Humphrey on the draw. Faceoff's tied up and taken away by the Whitecaps. Sandiford deflects that one down to the corner with his skate, where he'll be taken away and working out his ball. Ball gets center, fires to the far side corner. Sheridan on it first. Has one flicked back out. The ball with a nice grab. And now over the middle of the ice. McLeish with it. He'll fire it in deep as that one takes a weird bounce right over the middle. Toe drag shot from Sandiford, up and out of play. Maybe got a stick on it, as Waterloo had some issues with it in the offensive zone. Takes the weird bounce in the corner. As we'll get the replay look at it, it gets fired in. The odd bounce, Pettipies misses it and maybe can't get a stick on it either, so it sets up Sandiford with a good look, but maybe the good recovery to get the stick on it and deflect it up and out of play. DeBoo pushes forward on the draw. He gets tied up, where we'll be taken him by Kulababa on the near side boards. He takes a hit from Kuhneman, but remains on the puck. This one comes up to the blue line, where Arsenault rings it around. That one just outside the reach of Hutchings. Ball takes a spill as the puck comes back the other way. Maybe taps it forward. DeBoo on it first. DeBoo with a nice effort, one-handed, to keep possession of it momentarily, as he's in a battle with Kuhneman. Puck comes up towards the point. Hutchings back on it. He's trying to work it free, but Ball will get his arms free first, so here comes a chance the other way. Working on it is Logan Young to the middle, but he is knocked off the puck, and Kane Goulet with the quick outlet. Here comes North Shore. They've got numbers, 3-on-3 the other way. This one moved over the middle. Kulababa couldn't get free. Big hit by Young as Goulet takes a spill. Kulababa works it free, trying to get it to Goulet. Puck free in the slot, where it'll be poked away by Ball, and Waterloo has numbers, 3-on-1 the other way. Young a shot. He scores! Logan Young, the icebreaker tonight, and Waterloo leads 1-0. It took 35 minutes and 22 seconds, but someone is finally on the board, and it's off the stick of Logan Young. The low lining shot beats Ryan through the wickets, and Logan Young is second of the tournament. Gives Waterloo the first lead of the game. Near-Eisel, long lead feed. That one a little too high and hot, as that will go for an icing call. Logan Young, the Kitchener, Ontario native. 20 goals in the regular season. 1 goal in yesterday's victory, and another one here today. Wolves lead 1-0 here. Shots 15 all. Face off one back. Near-Eisel Chips it off the boards as it comes up to the point. Sheridan trying to make a move, but here comes Forwell the other way. Forwell waits for help. He'll take it himself, trying to make the strong move towards the inside, but can't get free. Long lead feed over the middle, intercepted by Sheridan, and North Shore moves on the counterattack. Callery, he gets pushed off the puck as Sheridan gets taken into the boards by Howell. Jackman gets it free. Up top to the point. Drew fires the shot. It gets deflected in front as it sent Pettipies to the right, with the puck not on target, as he's able to cover it up off the bounce on the end boards and force another whistle. These two teams have not played before this season. No meetings yet. As there's the goal scorer, Logan Young once again. Waterloo lining up 3 players on the right side in the line formation. Faceoffs one back up to the point. Long shot in is missed wide of the target. Longo slaps it towards the net. A chance for Williams in tight, but he can get good stick on it. Hallman slaps it out as Hackett will send it back. Hallman into the offensive end. With it now is Zach Kinchin. Long lead feed. That one goes off the stick, up and out of play of Rocco Williams. Rocco Williams, 16 points on the season, 10 points in the playoffs. The Peterborough, Ontario native, one of the many Peterborough natives looking to represent Ontario in the TELUS Cup, as it will be played out in Peterborough this year. Cooper Arsenault on the puck first, as when we play to the far side of the ice. Miller swings it around Strauss. A bouncing puck over the middle goes between the wickets of Arsenault, as it'll be flicked back in by the Whitecaps. Strauss moves that one up the point. Arsenault, low line, tip shot in. Great save by Pettipies, as Williams got a stick on that one to redirect it. Hallman moves it up. Hallman gets decked from behind, and that's going to be a penalty on Williams. Delayed call-up coming. Dancing through, rebound chance. Great save made by Ryan, as he's somehow able to keep that puck out. And cross-checking will be the call as you catch it at the end of there. Humphrey, the great move to the inside, somehow able to pull that back forehand, looking to beat Ryan low again, and that puck did come loose, as Ryan had to be swift to get that cover up. So Waterloo back to the power play, 0 for 2 on the night, 2 for 4 in the Central Regional Championships. 2:48 to play here in the second. Face-off is one back, goes across the line, ball works in quickly to the slot. Quick shot, they score! Eli Humphrey! Just 6 seconds is all they need on the power play, and the Wolves extend their lead to 2. Just quick motion on the power play, as Maybe gets it at the point, swings it across to Michael Ball, who finds Eli Humphrey for his second goal of the tournament. He had the overtime winner in yesterday's game. And he extends the lead here. 2-0 lead for Waterloo. Both goals scored in this second period. This one played right out of the slot. A chance for Fortwell, a shot that's turned away by Ryan. Pops up high, Fortwell gloves it down. He'll move it up to the point, Ball. Long shot in, low lining, rebound chance. Quickly covered up by Ryan, as the crowd is drawn once again. The Wolves applying a lot of pressure right now, trying to get anything they can to the net, cause havoc in front, not only for the potential of a goal, but for a potential of looking for a rebound. They're now 1 for 3 for the potential of drawing a penalty. 1 for 3 now on the game on the power play, 2 for 2 yesterday. Very effective power play unit so far. This one to maybe glove down by Ryan. The first half of this period, it was all Whitecaps on the attack, but the last 5 or so minutes, all Waterloo in the offensive zone. They're looking for more with 2:03 to play here in the second. Marks now in to take the draw. Faceoff's tied up in the feet. Forwell comes away. The Forwell driving the net hard. Puck came free for him, but he couldn't get the backhand shot attempt off. Forwell lets it go to the point. Ball in the slot. A quick shot there by Young. Puck still loose at the side. Spinning chance opportunity as Young misses wide at the target. Forwell back on the attack. He gets taken down to the ground as McLeish burying his way, trying to get that puck free. As Forwell takes a couple beatings there. Goulet looking for the outlet. This one played over in the near side. Arsenault, he's across the line. He'll leave it off Farmer. Over the middle, intercepted by Maybe. And here comes Forwell. He'll just get to center and fire it in deep as he's at the end of his shift. He'll go for a quick change. Kulababa now, Michael Drew sees some open space. That one bounces off the head of Nearizel, and it's now North Shore on the attack as the net comes off. Pettipiece trying to get in there, and some pushing and shoving ensuing after the whistle between Farmer and Kuhneman. Farmer got the first shot. Kuhneman the retaliatory shot. The officials very reluctant on calling penalties in this tournament as here's the last chance. Farmer trying to squeak it through on the impossible angle, and all it took was a little shove there from Pettipiece as he's trying to come over and deny that left side angle on the post, and the post pops right off the moorings. 1:04 to play here in the second. Williams gets kicked from the draw. And now Dylan Callery to take. Face-off controlled by Waterloo. Puck comes bouncing free at the side. Callery right out in front for Rocco Williams, with the puck was bouncing too much to be controlled. This one to the far side for Kuhneman. Hard bounce off the board, right way out of his net as he sends the puck all the way back to Waterloo territory, and on the attack, Callery. He takes his man into the boards. Puck comes free momentarily. It'll be chipped off the side by Kuhneman as here comes Waterloo with a potential late period chance. As this one gets shoved off to the boards, Williams has some space. He'll move it over Sheridan. Sheridan saucers it over the middle, but an errant pass will go all the way to Nearizel. Nearizel giving a couple extra shoves at the blue line. As the puck finally comes free and bouncing around, it goes into Waterloo territory. Strauss waits, moves it up, but intercepted and taken away by Drew. Potentially one last chance here, but North Shore's got to move quickly as this one's turned over. Strauss will carry with 3 seconds, plays it high off the glass. It goes up and out of play with 0.2 seconds left on the clock, and Strauss and Jackman. Some late period antics. .2 seconds left, and the draw will come from the neutral zone on the Waterloo side here. Officials having a long conversation here for 0.2 seconds on the clock. Faceoff will actually come inside. See if North Shore is able to pull off the miracle here with 0.2. Directing traffic here, and one of the officials talking to the timekeeper, see if we get a little more, and they do. 2.2 up on the clock. Now it's a little more feasible for something to happen. 0.2 would be practically impossible. North Waterloo loading up the left side, and it gets tied up as a rugby scrum ensues. Sinclair, Smith, and Marks all just taking a dive at the puck. Effective. It worked. So that will do it after 2 periods of play. The Waterloo Wolves hold a 2-0 lead through 40 minutes of play. You're not going to want to miss third period action as Ryan, the goaltender, giving some shoves after the whistle. And this is going to draw the entire teams. The coaches are now screaming at each other as well between North Shore and Waterloo. Everyone has a partner. Williams is getting escorted off by a linesman, but pushing and shoving still ensuing between the two teams. Bad blood here on day 2 of the Central Region Championships. Both teams finally starting to get separated. The officials screaming at both teams just to get off the ice. As we will see what the third period has in store. The Waterloo Wolves, a 2-0 lead after 40 minutes of play. We'll see what the answer is coming in the third. You don't want to miss this third period. I'm telling you, folks, we'll see you back here in 15 minutes or so for third period action.
Got something to call mine. Oh, need someone to talk to. Right now. Oh, we are on the way. Starting today.
This building, this province, and these fan bases.
Canada's best men's under 18 club teams come to Peterborough this spring for the 2026 TELUS Cup. Who will follow in the footsteps of the greats that have come before? Catch all the action live from April 20th to 26th at the Peterborough Memorial Centre. Tickets are available now at hockeycanada.ca/TELUS Cup.
I love hockey. I always have since I was a kid, and the first shift is what got me into playing hockey.
In 2014, Hockey Canada and Bauer set out to create a program that would help introduce hockey to new-to-hockey families across the country. This program is called the First Shift. More than 10 years ago, Tim laced up the skates for the first time ever through a First Shift program in Scarborough.
Back in 2014, my parents first heard about the First Shift program through one of the local community centers. My parents immigrated to Canada several decades ago. They actually didn't know anything about hockey, even when we started. My siblings and I, we would watch it on YouTube, we would listen to the games on the radio, but we didn't really know much about how the game was played. And because of this First Shift program, we actually learned a lot about hockey. Without it, I don't believe that we would have been playing on the ice. Trying on hockey equipment for the first time was a very exciting experience. I'd only seen hockey equipment on the professionals and seen them on the ice, seen clips of them. Putting all the gear on, it was like I was one of them. Something that I remember most about the First Shift, the welcome event, was how overwhelming it was. All the gear, all the people. I really didn't know what was going on, but the fit experts were very professional. They knew what they were doing. They walked us through everything, and just the excitement afterwards is something that really stuck with me. Something that still stands out to me from that first experience is the coaches. Stepping out onto the ice for the first time was very exhilarating. I was a bit nervous, but the coaches, they took care of those nerves right away. And after that, it was just fun. After the first shift, what kept me involved in hockey was the sanctioned minor program, the Scarborough Ice Raiders. I played with them for several years. First shift means a lot to me personally. It kind of shaped my life growing up because without this program, I wouldn't have gotten into hockey. Without hockey, I don't think I would be the kind of person I am. Being able to play on a team, work with teammates, day in, day out, build that sense of community is something that shaped my life throughout.
Having great, fit experts is outstanding. They are the heart and soul of this program. Having experts such as Tim convey their love of the game and their expert advice on equipment fitting reassures family and begins their hockey journey in the best possible way.
It feels awesome to give back to the program that started my hockey journey. I'm very grateful to First Shift, and I'm grateful to be back here and be able to be on the other side, give back to other kids, give back to my community. So something that I would say to a family that's considering the First Shift program is that it's absolutely worth it. You're getting a full set of gear and ice time at such an affordable cost. You're also getting memories that your child will be able to carry with them through the rest of their life. It's something that you'll never forget.
I had a really rough year, obviously. It kind of brought some light to what had happened to me. And
you know, it was really perseverance in the face of adversity. Non-hockey related injury, but one of significance.
Getting the news that he had the fractures, and it was a compression fracture, and him not being able to move and just waiting for the news to see if he needed surgery or if he was going to be able to walk, if it had hit any nerves. It was frightening.
it was hard, but what motivated me was the support I had around me. I felt like I couldn't fail.
With Dominic, he didn't walk away from hockey through his recovery. He continued to participate as best he could.
Hockey's taught me you got to do the hard thing, because usually the hard thing is the right thing to do. That perseverance, just pushing yourself through hard things, and it's helped shape the values of my whole personnel overall.
Today, everybody's busy. And to see young people like Dominic with the opportunity to set aside time to contribute to community is very important.
I want kids to have the same experience I had when I was a kid. I went to Knights games when I was younger, and you come home with a mini stick or a puck, and it's like the best thing ever. I think a lot of people bond over hockey and what it's given to them, so I want to give the same to the future youth.
Having a scholarship program, it just allows us to recognize some of those individuals that have just taken that to the next level.
I mean, I cried. I was super proud of him being recognized for such an amazing award.
Obviously, I wasn't able to work for about 6 months. It's helped me and my family a lot, just paying for school and it being less of a burden.
It's not about just developing a hockey player. It's about developing good citizens.
So that specific shooting drill that we were working on today is to help give them those extra shooting techniques so that in a game-like situation, they're not just using one or two, they've got multiple ways of being able to shoot the puck. Not only does that make it more difficult for the defenseman to defend, but also for that goaltender to not only track it, but making sure that they're able to square up on the puck as well. So just helps them become more of that lethal player that they're looking for at that elite level.
Out here, we're working on a lot of transitioning, walking the blue line, puck retrievals. Lots of that has to do with being able to take good angles to pucks, good routes to pucks, being able to shoulder check, being able to execute some deception. There's a setup, there's a trap, there's a payoff to every move. So making sure that the players are understanding the process in how to identify danger, identify options, and how to misdirect players under a stressful environment.
So a lot of our focus points here at the Program of Excellence Under 15 is going to be helping the goaltenders a lot with their preparation before the shot. Things like leading with the eyes, scanning the ice before they make their movements, being able to put themselves into the right places at the right times, and ultimately set themselves up for success when the shot comes off the stick. We're also going to be tying in a couple small technical areas where we're talking about a lot of sequencing in their movement, about how the body is supposed to operate from the top of the head down into their skates in order to generate that real strong and effective movement.
That gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back, go back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad. Rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, stack on stack, rack on rap, back on back, that gon' clap, whack, go back, so bad, rap, back on back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Angus Glen Community Centre for third period action between the Waterloo Wolves and the North Shore Whitecaps. Through the first two periods, it's the Wolves who hold the slim 2-goal lead. Both goals coming in the second period. Logan Young, the icebreaker, having his second goal of the tournament, followed up by Eli Humphrey on the power play. His second goal of the tournament as well, and in case you missed it, fireworks to send off the second intermission as both teams emptying the benches for a brawl that involved Cam Ryan, the goaltender for North Shore, being very involved of what got the North Shore bench so activated. So we'll see coming into the third period what happens if any penalties were determined. The officials looking to get a grip on this game, as there have been rough activities all night long between these two opponents. Both teams not back out to the ice yet. Just 11 seconds left on the clock as here come the Whitecaps, as they'll look to need a big third period here, mounting a 2-goal deficit. They were in this hole yesterday, trailing 2-0 against the Toronto Titans. Still no goals in the early goings of the tournament so far for the Whitecaps. 5 periods of being shut out. Here's some replays from the first period. Goulet, one of the better chances for North Shore through this game. They're now at 17 shots through 40 minutes of play, going up against Waterloo's 21. The shots in the second period favored the Whitecaps 10-9, despite being outscored 2-0 in that period. And here was where it all started. The face-off play looks innocent enough, but then as Cam Ryan was coming back down the other way, the scrum were to ensue. The conversations there between Sandiford and Smith, and you can see in the background Ryan giving a blocker to one of the Wolves players, and that kick started it all. And now we see Kinchin and Rocco Williams report to the box to start the period. And it's the visitors who have the penalty up on the clock, however. So without any additional information, there's a real good look at the scrum. Kinchin, one of the players that was removed at the end of the period, forcibly by the linesman. Up on the clock at the moment, it states that the Wolves, have the lone penalty. And here will be the official rulings as I'm looking at it now. Josh Hobson, 2 for head contact. Kyle Morrison leaving the player's bench or penalty bench at the end of the period, a game misconduct for the head coach. Rocco Williams, 2 for head contact. Josh Hobson, 2 for head contact. Josh Hobson, 2 for roughing. Rocco Williams, 2 for head contact. Rocco Williams, a 10-minute misconduct. Josh Hobson, a 10-minute misconduct. Tyler Turcott, the head coach of the Whitecaps, leaving the players or penalty bench at the end of the period, game misconduct. And Zachary Kinchin, a 10-minute misconduct as well. A lot to sort out at the end of that period. We will see where it leads from there. The Whitecaps will begin the period on the power play, however. 0 for 3 on the game. Looking for their first burst of offense here in the tournament. Need it now more than ever. The only team without a point through the first day. And the coaches will have a discussion as Tyler Turcott will exit. And the head coach for the Whitecaps will be sent off. Now the assistant coach getting the ruling on it. As a new bench boss is needed for the Whitecaps. Officials still having a long, extended discussion here with the Whitecaps bench. As in yesterday's action, the Waterloo Wolves defeated Ottawa Myers Automotive by a score of 7-6 in overtime. They had 43 shots logged in that game. They're at 21 through 40 minutes of play, while on the other side, the North Shore Whitecaps, a 2-0 loss against the Toronto Titans. They outshot the Titans 31-26, but just could not beat a hot goaltender in David Healy. Whitecaps' next game will be tomorrow at 3:30. They will take on Ottawa Myers Automotive. And for the Wolves, they're back in the matinee slate. They've got the 12 o'clock game tomorrow against the North Bay Trappers. We're finally ready to get going here. Jackman against Sinclair on the opening draw. Face-off is won back to Longo as he'll retreat it for Drew. Michael Drew, the 5'9" defenseman. He'll get it across the blue line, across the red, and take it into the offensive zone, but offside just by a step is William Sandiford. Cool story I found out about William Sandiford. He had 17 stitches in his ankle. A teammate stepped on his ankle accidentally, and he ended up missing the OMHAs. Yesterday was his first game back since the incident. Just an incredible recovery process to come back from that kind of an injury so late in the season. Wasn't going to miss OMHAs. This one swung over to the near side. It will be dropped back for Drew. He'll get across the red line. Gets across neutral, just onside. Waterloo wanted it called. And so he worked up to the point. Farmer leaves it off Drew. Drew, he'll wait with it at the top. He freezes, gets it off. Longo, near side, the one-time shot misses wide of the target. Longo with it on the far side boards, gets it down low to the goal line. Farmer, he'll cut towards the net. He'll go behind. Move it up top for Jackman. Jackman waits. Long shot in. It's blocked in front and clear to the line and down the length of the ice. Drew has to hustle as fast as bearing down on him. Farmer will reverse it back the other way. Left off for Drew. 37 seconds to go on the power play for the Whitecaps. Drew saucers it up as he gets it to the captain, Longo, just onside. Longo, long range shot. It's stopped up by Pettipiece. And here comes some more pushing and shoving as Longo drives the net hard and Pettipiece goes down. Here's the replay of it. Longo cuts over the middle, gets the clear shooting lane, able to fit it around the big body defenseman of Aaron Howell and crashing the net hard. Sees Pettipiece hit the deck. Once again, no call. The officials keeping the whistles in their pockets as much as they can. 22 seconds to go here on the power play. Debut on the draw. Faceoff's tied up and taken away by the Wolves. This one's going to be sent down the length of the ice. And it looked like it was going to be Sawyer Smith first to it, so Ryan hustled out, and that put the brakes on Smith as Sheridan now holds behind his own net. Sheridan will wait. Moves it over to the left side. We're back to even strength hockey as Hackett rings that around the boards. Puck comes over the middle as Hackett couldn't get up to get that chance. Hallman now on the rush. Hallman waits, takes his look from the goal line. Behind the net, waits, moves it up top. Back down to Ryder Hallman. He has that puck stripped away as Debut will look to chip and chase, but some good hand-eye on display from Howell as he was able to whack that chance down as a big hit laid by Sheridan. He lays the boom on Hallman. Strauss behind the net. He'll leave it off for Howell. Aaron Howell, the Cambridge, Ontario native, will just fire it in deep, and that one's going to be called for icing as the Wolves did not get the line. So faceoff coming all the way back. Waterloo leading 2-0, 17-14 to play here in the third. McLeish on the draw. An attack set up here. As we see the forward high there. This will be dropped off quickly. Face-off won by Waterloo. Waterloo will work this out. The long lead feed up for Humphrey. Just onside are the Wolves as this gets played behind the net. Goulet walking it out. He'll chip that off the boards as it's out for Nearizel. Nearizel with it. He sees a lane. We'll just slap it far side corner looking for the set play, but Goulet there first. Goulet drops it off. Turner chops at it. Moves right into the slot. Humphrey can't get it to his forehand. He'll circle back on the backhand, trying to get over the middle of the ice. Leaves it off for near Eisel, but a little too hot as that one comes through on the other side. Young with it. He'll leave it off on the backhand for Alves. He shakes off the first hit, gets it to the slot. Humphrey to his backhand, spinning around. Humphrey fires a shot in. Great save made by Ryan as Young comes down, and Turner fires the puck at him after the play. The official talking with Alves as Ryan gave him a tap on the way by, and Ryan channeling the inner Anthony Stolars or potentially Jordan Bennington here, getting a little on edge. Linesman hurrying up the Wolves as they're late to change. Kuhneman on the draw against Farmer. Farmer wins it clean as that's played off the glass. Knocked down by Niereisel. Kept in at the line by Kuhneman. A good effort to spear at it. So the puck does end up clearing the line. 4 minutes into the final frame. Waterloo holding on to the 2-goal lead. Niereisel. Great move to the backhand. Backhand shot. But that one scooped up and covered by Ryan. Thank you to our partners for supporting today's event. A special recognition goes to Milk, a proud partner of the U18 Central Region Championships. Dairy Farmers of Ontario are proud to support young athletes and encourage healthy, active lifestyle. That replay from Jackson Niereisel, the Kitchener, Ontario native. A chance to hop up in the rush. Got a good backhand shot off. 26 points on the season for Niereisel as the hand pass is called in the neutral zone against the Wolves. And we'll do it again with just over 4 gone. North Shore still searching for that elusive first goal. Quite the parallels of Waterloo hockey between yesterday and today. Yesterday's game ended 7-6 in overtime. Today, a low-scoring 2-0 matchup against the Whitecaps. This one will be slapped into the offensive end as Ball will be there first. He'll chip it off the boards for Sinclair. It's moved out to Central, where Hackett fires it to the far side corner. Ball, he's first to it. Back over Sinclair. Across the line for Forwell as he'll fire it in deep. And that one's slowed up for Hackett. Hackett rings it around looking for Sandiford. Sandiford takes the big hit from Ball as he's bumped off the puck as he goes into the offensive end. Maybe leaves it around. This one played up as a big hit. Laid in the far side corner, fires up the North Shore bench. This one slapped in the offensive end. Alves first to it. Farmer rings it around the boards. Forwell first to it, but has that bounce off his stick. Hutchings now into the offensive end. He has that one pop off his stick as Pettipi's quick to cover. And North Shore will get a wholesale change just over 5 minutes into the period. Forwell and Farmer exchanging some words as both go back to the bench. For two teams that haven't played this season, this is quite the rivalry this is turning out to be. Jackman will be tied up and lose that draw as that puck slapped up and out of play by Howell. And we'll reset and go from the left side of Pettipi's again. Pettipi's been solid tonight, stopping all 18 shots faced. Well, if Ontario native, a 15-1 record this season for Waterloo, in their very strong 33-2 regular season record. Waterloo was sweeping their way through the playoffs until a tough series against the Elgin Middlesex Canucks, where it was a best-to-7 point situation where the Wolves came away in the final deciding game with the 7-5 victory via the points. Now will be tipped into the offensive end. Taking it first is Strauss. Strauss will leave it off for his defense partner, as that's Howell who moves it through the middle of the ice. No icing the call. Arsenault has to go back to play it. Humphrey loses an edge as this one moved over to Goulet, but big pounce off and fast. Backdoor feed as Humphrey's shot is blocked in front. Puck comes free, fast. He's bumped off the puck as Goulet will move it forward. Hutchings to the outside. Jackman, a long shot in. That'll be gloved down by Pettipies as he stops another one coming from the outside. The OHF is pleased to partner with HTG Sports Services as its exclusive accommodation services provider. HTG is committed to providing support services for athletes, teams, and communities across Ontario. Next game on the docket coming up in an hour and a half. The JTHL champion Toronto Titans take on the NOHA champion, the North Bay Trappers. The Titans, the only team to get a regulation win on day one. They sit atop the standings through Monday. Bluin. He'll work his way through neutral. Bluin with a burst of speed. He's cut off as he gets across the blue line. And look, no move in transition as fast as he'll slingshot that into the offensive end. Drew hits the brakes as he'll flip it the other way. Drew, saucer pass through the middle, knocked down by good hand-eye contact display by Hallman. Is back into the offensive end. Bluin hits the brakes to evade Fast. Has to get away from Kuhneman as well. The lead feed is blocked at the blue line by Fast. And Fast stick shattered, I believe, is a big hit laid there by DeBoo. And here comes a chance for North Shore the other way. Looking for their first opportunity in the game, and it's stuck away by a great defensive play by Nathan Miller. The diving effort getting cheers from the Waterloo bench as he denies North Shore's best look of the period. .12:44 to play here in the third. North Shore still digging, hitting the 20-shot threshold in this game. Farmer gets kicked from the draw. In to take will be Longo, the captain. Sandiford with it behind the net. That one comes up to the point. Dancing around with it was Farmer. He got down low. A backhand shovel shot by Sandiford is blocked away in front. As it comes up to the point, Sheridan, backdoor feed. Chance for Longo. He misses wide of the target. That one's sent all the way down the length of the ice, and Waterloo just trying to survive right now the Whitecaps' onslaught. As that'll be back-to-back icing calls against the Alliance champions. Farmer back on the draw. Face-off is won by the Wolves as they'll go the other way. Here comes Logan Young to the outside. Young trying to fend off Sheridan as he'll just shovel it around the boards. Farmer looking for the outlet. But he passes it to the other number 22 as Wyatt Marks comes onside. Marks to the backhand, shovel it to the front of the net. Chance for Young, he spins it wide of the target. Some more pushing and shoving after the play as here comes North Shore with numbers. Farmer slows up at the point, tries to move it back across the middle. But Waterloo taking away all the angles on the defensive end. This one dropped back up high for Marks. Taken away by Farmer. 2-on-2 the other way. Longo looking to join the rush to make it 3-on-2. That one left for Hutchings, but he can't pull the trigger as Hutchings goes down. Marks, long lead feed, but too high to handle as Arsenault will reset. Goulet shovels it forward, but an errant pass goes right on target to Pettipies, who will leave it for Maybe. Maybe with it, he chips it off the boards, gets it to Marks, and Marks will fling it around the boards. Ryan slows it up for Goulet, but Forwell on the forecheck. As the puck comes free at the side, Ryan will slap it to safety as Forwell and Goulet get involved in a wrestling match. And the puck comes free. Here comes Callery on the outside. He'll shovel a shot towards the front of the net where Pettipies holds on to it. North Shore with the home ice advantage in today's game. They get the last change. When speaking to Tyler Turcotte pre-game, he said the home ice advantage really only works if you're matching four lines, which in the early goings of the tournament can be beneficial, because in a week-long tournament, you kind of have to use everyone. You got to use as many fresh bodies as you can. Can't tire them out with potentially 7 games in 7 days. As the long shot in, it's tipped in front. Pettipies shovels it to the corner. Taking it now, Strauss. He'll slide it on back for Howell. As Howell sees some daylight, he'll just move it to open space. Howell takes the return feed. He gets the red line and will ring it around the boards. Ryan's able to jab his stick at it to slow it up for Bluin as Sinclair comes barreling in looking for a check. Puck tied up, comes away. Humphrey, he gets taken into the boards. Up top, Howell waits, fires the shot. It's off the blocker, pops a mile high in the air. I don't think Alves knew where it was as Rowan Turner scoops it up. Turner fires the quick pass out to Kulababa as this one will be played all the way in right at Drew as he tries to bunt it. As he'll start to break out for the Whitecaps. Drew looking to go end to end. Cuts over the middle. Drew right into the slot but can't pull the trigger as Bonneville takes him into the boards. Puck squirts free. McLeish rings it back around. As on at first is Howell. Drew stepping up on the defensive end. Tied up in the corner as Humphrey will walk it out. McLeish coming through looking for the big hit, but Bonneville gets the better of him there. As Howell fires it into the offensive zone, knocked down quickly by the stick of Turner as Sheridan retreats it all the way for Drew. Drew has to chip it off the boards as he takes the body from the other 77 in Sawyer Smith. As Sheridan gets tackled to the ground. Still on top of his man. And the helmet once again coming free. That's the second helmet we've seen come off in today's game. As to the outside, it's Michael Ball with a burst of speed. He'll hit the brakes, works over the middle. Ball fires a shot scooped up by Ryan. As Ball's stick gets knocked right out of his hand. Here's the replay. Ball taking off with the burst of speed to the left side. Saw no options for the pass, so why not let it fly? No traffic in front. Ryan makes the easy save as we cross 2 p.m. local time. 8:43 to play here in the third. North Shore looking for 2 quick ones to equalize. Ball at the point. He'll ring it around the boards. Comes all the way around Forwell. Down in the corner, Hallman takes the body from Hackett. Hackett moves it up, but it's taken by Forwell. He's trying to work to his forehand. The spinning shot couldn't get it through a sea of bodies. Sandiford able to clear the line. But it's turned back over as here comes Fast with a burst of speed. Fast to the inside, pulls the trigger. Great save made as Ryan shuts it down, but Hackett will be going to the box. Fast was getting hounded on. He takes to the outside and Hackett a couple whacks. It's the hook that draws the attention of the official. And Waterloo will head back to the power play. 1 for 3 on the game. As the faceoff's won by the Whitecaps, but can't clear it down the length of the ice. As Maybe holds at center. He'll get it right back across the line quickly. No offside. Ball down for Humphrey. Up top, Ball. He'll leave it off for Maybe. Return feed for Ball, but it's in his skates. Down on the half wall to Forwell on the near side. Forwell being hacked at. Gets away. Swings it over Maybe. Backdoor feed. Looking for the deflection was Forwell, but couldn't find it on target. Here's the setup on the power play. Forwell getting away from the attack and able to accelerate off the check. And once he makes the pass, Longo gets caught puck watching. And Forwell able to take off, get into the slot, looking for the downhill deflection, but a little too high on the deflection. It goes up and into the mesh netting. Long shot in, scooped up by Ryan once again, as that was off the stick of Chris Maybe. Maybe the Guelph, Ontario native, led the team in assists this season. 39 assists, 48 points. And the cherry on top, he had a goal in yesterday's game. in the overtime win, as that one will be cleared all the way down the ice. Pettipies out to play. He's got pressured from Longo, as this will be sent back. Waterloo looking to build up some speed. Humphrey trying to cut across the middle. Got to get onside quickly, as Humphrey was sliding across the middle, and bodies hitting the floor here for Waterloo. This one down low. Sharp angle and a nice save on the deflection by Ryan. As Forwell. Here comes Humphrey. He gets knocked down, but he slows down just enough to stay onside for ball to get across the line. That was just another chance for Waterloo that gets stifled. And Waterloo will elect to call a timeout as they head to the 5-on-3 as Rocco Williams joins the parade to the penalty box. So Waterloo looking to take a little bit of extra time here. They've got 53 seconds on the 5-on-3 attack. Looking to extend their lead here, leading 2-0 with just over 7 minutes to play. Looking to potentially put a dagger into this game. 7:07 into play. 53 seconds on the 5-on-3. Rested bodies for Waterloo. Let's see what they can do on the power play. Faceoff is taken by the Whitecaps, but held at the line. Maybe to Ball at the point. He'll flip sides. It's down to Forwell on the left flank. Maybe a one-time shot that he fanned on into the near side corner. Young retreats it on the half wall. Down to Forwell. Skating up high, back down at the top of the circle. Maybe the behind the back pass. Forwell waits, fires a shot, blocked in front. Arsenault fires it off the boards and out. Pettipies way out of his net to try and kickstart the attack. 19 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Forwell goes inside out, but is knocked off the puck as Arsenault looking to go for a pin. Puck comes free. Ball looking over his options. He's scanning. Ball will take it to the top. He'll wait. Down low to the far side. Forwell, a nice saucer pass across to Young. We're back 5-on-4. It's over to Forwell. He fans on the shot. Forwell down low. Humphrey waits, and he'll come up over the middle. Up top, Ball fires the shot off the leg of Hackett, up and out of play, as North Shore has survived the first scare. 55 seconds still remain on the power play. Second unit comes rolling out for the Wolves. Here's the down low play as it gets moved over to the near side, but blocked up and into the mesh netting. Faceoff will be taken by the Wolves. Down low, Kuhneman. He's in the corner. Up high, Strauss. That one just outside the reach of Kuhneman, but he's there first. Has to avoid the checks. Strauss, long shot from the point, glove down by Ryan. He's been spectacular in this third period as Rocco Williams is back from the box after his misconduct. Jackman on the draw, tied up, and we move to the outside. At the point, long shot in, as Nearizel just missed the target. Kuhneman tries to get it back to him, but deflects off the stick of Callery and clears the zone. The Wolves looking to get back on it quickly as there's an icing call. Not what they wanted to do there, as this one's coming all the way back with just 24 seconds left on the power play. So they'll need a quick win and to turn it into offense. Fine Design, the official on-site championship apparel provider for the U18 AAA Central Region Championships. Be sure to grab your championship gear before it sells out. Face-off taken by the Wolves. Nearizel sees some space as Kuhneman gets across the red line, gets across the blue line, still with possession. Delayed penalty upcoming as Kuhneman gets taken into the glass by Sheridan. All the action right in front of our camera on the rink side. Get a close-up of the two sevens, Kuhneman and Sheridan. And we'll see what this penalty is for, as that will negate the rest of the Wolves power play. It's Sinclair. He's going for hooking. So an off-puck penalty, as Waterloo had possession of it entering the zone. But Sinclair gets dinged for the hook. So that will send North Shore back to the power play for the 5th time in today's game. After this 13 seconds ends of 4-on-4 play, puck will come free. Forwell works it out. He'll just pause at the red line, waits, and will accelerate before dropping it off to Strauss. Whitecaps power play. This one knocked down in the middle of the ice. Strauss fires it down. Is that one too hot for Sheridan to glove down? Drew will tag up behind the net. Sheridan goes for a quick change. North Shore only 4 bodies on the ice. They've got to send one more here as they're on the power play. Only 3 bodies on the ice, and it's a power play. Some communication issues on the North Shore bench as they've got to reset here. Drew's got to go behind his own net. 1:12 to go here on the power play. Farmer tries to cut it back over the inside. He'll move it out to Jackman. Up to the point, Rocco Williams, a low-lining shot. Trouble for Pettipies, and he somehow keeps it out. The shot looked like it fooled Pettipies. Might have got between the legs. As Williams circled back up high, Pettipies the low-lining shot. It definitely got between the legs. And Pettipies just falls backwards, trying to do anything he can to keep that puck out. He did so successfully there. As North Shore still held off the board. Williams, he gets kicked from the draw. Taking now will be Longo. As he goes up against Fast, captain on captain crime on the draw, as that one's played out, and here comes a chance. Working over the middle, Smith's shot is off target. Drew looking to move that forward as Smith takes the check from Farmer. Drew, long lead feed. That one off the back of the skate of Jackman as Howell will knock it down, and that one goes up and into the Waterloo bench as some frustration shown from Michael Drew as he comes off for a change. Just 30 seconds left on the power play, and only 3:50 in this game. Time ticking quickly here for the Whitecaps. Face-off controlled by the Whitecaps. It's swung back all the way to their own end. Sheridan with it in front of his net as he'll begin to work it out. Sheridan with a burst of speed to the outside. He's onside as it's played back to the point. A behind the back pass. Hackett up high. Kinchin fires the shot. It's stopped initially, but Pettipies didn't know where the rebound was. Hackett, he goes across the line. Sheridan, he's got to hustle as fresh out of the box is Sinclair. As a big check in front of the net, no call. This one will slow up just in time, no icing. Debut back with it. He makes a nice move to get around Sinclair. Sinclair just goes for the pin as Sheridan trying to work that puck free. Sinclair and Sheridan now getting into it in the boards. The dirty areas of the game as more pushing and shoving. Some words exchanged between Sheridan and Sinclair. Elliot Bluin on screen there. Elliot Bluin, the Oshawa, Ontario native, 3 games played this season. In his second game of the tournament. The 5'7" defenseman. Face off now to the right side of Ryan. Alves, a backhand shot turned away by Ryan. Alves gets taken down hard by Goulet. Goulet's got to let him go as the official had eyes on him. Longo, he gets away from one as Goulet with it across the line onside, but has that knocked away by Ball. We'll see if the call for Ryan comes soon. Down 2 with 2.5 to play. Maybe. Swings that back. Plays it to the near side, Alves. Alves across the line, trying to dangle through Goulet. Goes to the backhand, the shovel shot, gloved down by Ryan. As Alves making a crafty move to get to the front of the net. 2 assists in yesterday's game for Emery Alves, the Waterloo, Ontario native. No points in today's action. Alves 19 points on the regular season. That's 2:14 to go on an expiring clock here in the third. McLeish against Kuhneman. Face-off play to the near side. Sinclair rings it around, up and into the mesh netting, as that will come up and out of play. And we'll redo it from the right side of Ryan. Ryan been fantastic tonight, stopping 28 of 30 shots faced. But Finn Pettipies on the other end, stopping all 23 he's faced to this point. Goulet chips that off the boards. Strauss now with it. He moves it up the middle of the ice. This will be tipped into North Shore territory. Goulet drops it off for Arsenault. Arsenault up top, Calorie. Calorie the backhand feed, knocked down in neutral by Kuhneman. Has right back into North Shore territory. Arsenault over to Goulet. Goulet plays it off the boards. That one we chipped on into the offensive end, and this is coming the other way. Fast with the chance on the rush. He loses that battle to Drew. Drew cuts it up the middle. 1:30 to go. North Shore looking for the miracle. Drew to the outside. Gets across the line. Backhands it through. McLeish can't control. Calorie fakes the shot. Gets it down low. Sheridan. Sharp angle. Backdoor feed. Great save by Pettipies. As Farmer couldn't beat the Wolves goaltender. Up to the point. Blocked shot by Forwell in front. Sheridan up high. Long shot in. Gloved down by Pettipies. As the Wolves bending but not breaking. Bonneville with the block first. And Sheridan, his shot gets swallowed up. Trying to hit the fadeaway shot, essentially. Trying to beat Pettipies on that left side. But just couldn't quite squeak it through. Timeout will be called for the Whitecaps. 1 minute and 1 second remaining here in this contest. The Whitecaps need 2 quick goals in the final minute of action. So we'll take a look at the modified coaching staff for the Whitecaps after Tyler Turcotte was ejected from the game after the antics in the second period. In case you missed it, Waterloo scored twice in the second period. First off the stick of Logan Young, followed up by Eli Humphrey. Second period had a lot more than just goals to it. In case you missed the ending of the game, or the ending of the period, I should say. Both teams clearing the benches for a scuffle. As we get ready to go, 1 minute and 1 second left on the clock. Williams on the draw for the Whitecaps. Ryan still in the net, so it'll be 5-on-5 still. As Drew holds the blue line, he moves it over. Sheridan waits. Near lose control. Drew has the shooting lane. It's punched away by Pettipies. As will be sent down the length of the ice. I think Waterloo was expecting an empty net there, trying to go for it all. Might have been shocked to see Camden Ryan just standing in between the blue paint. 42.6 remaining. North Shore not willing to threaten the goal differential. If they want to get back into this game, it's going to have to be at even strength, 5-on-5. Waterloo looking to clear the puck. They get this one free, and it's Sawyer Smith as he'll get across the red line and just dump it in, and North Shore with a penalty upcoming. And it's giving Rocco Williams back to the box. 2 for slashing, the call. So Waterloo back to the power play here with 26.6 to go. Humphrey will have to take the draw as Forwell gets kicked out. Face-off is one back. It's up to the point for Ball. Ball, long shot in. Misses wide of the target. Humphrey up to the point. Humphrey with a return feed. That pass a little too hot as it bounces off the dasher and escapes the zone. 10 seconds left. And Waterloo just looking to take this and run away. 3 points in the standings for the Waterloo Wolves. A regulation win, ever so crucial in this tournament, and the Waterloo Wolves move to 2-0 here through the first 2 games, while the North Shore Whitecaps still searching for that elusive first point and elusive first goal of the tournament, as they've been shut out 2-0 in back-to-back games, and will look to bounce back tomorrow against Ottawa Myers Automotive. Waterloo, they've got the matinee game once again, playing tomorrow at 12 o'clock. As we'll now get the player of the game presentations. The player of the game for the Whitecaps, the captain, number 12, Joey Longo, the Oshawa, Ontario native, the leading point tallier for the Whitecaps this season with 38. And the player of the game for the Waterloo Wolves, the goaltender, the man with the shutout, Finn Pettipies. Finn Pettipies, a 0.82 goals against average in the Alliance this season. How does a 0.00 goals against average in the 2026 U18 Central Region Championship sound? Final score from Game 1 of Day 2. The Waterloo Wolves take down the Whitecaps by a score of 2-0. You won't want to miss out at 3:30. We're back here on the Ontario Hockey Federation YouTube channel for the Toronto Titans and the North Bay Trappers. We hope to see you there.